All right, she is the first yoga instructor from our area to be asked to speak at the Wanderlust Festival coming up in Vermont this weekend. Joining us now, Aimee Senise Bohn. Welcome. And first of all, thank you for coming because it made me research what the Wanderlust Festival is. And I can't go this weekend, but I want to find one and I want to go. This is what I am needing in my life. Everyone's saying I need to just come back to finding who I am. I need to cut out all the crazy and just make it more simple.
Cut out all the noise.
And just
How
more
do you do
healthy.
that?
I feel like so many people are talking about that.
Yeah, and it is a wonderful opportunity to just unplug, to connect with something, that just feeds you at a deeper level so that when you come back, you're just bringing your whole self back to your life.
Yeah, that's difficult though. Even when we take breaks or we go away on vacation, it's hard to let the noise go. But you are going to this event, and it's prestigious for yourself as a yogi, a local yogi. Can you explain to people what that is?
What a yogi is?
Yes.
So to me, a yogi is someone who practices not only the physical, the bend and stretch, sort of acrobatic parts of yoga.
Which we hear about so much.
Which, look at you.
Because it's impressive,
at that picture.
right?
That
Right.
is impressive. Look at
Yeah,
that.
whatever that is. No, that's impressive.
But it also then incorporates mindfulness, meditation, lifestyle choices, kind of what you eat, how you sleep, how you treat people. So to me, it's a whole gestalt of one's being.
And you said that that's exactly what got you invited to speak, because you do combine that in your practice, right?
That's right. There are lots and lots of people who can bend and stretch in the ancient language of Sanskrit. I kind of joke sometimes, but there aren't as many people who've really worked hard at incorporating other aspects of the practice.
Okay, so mindfulness and like you said, shutting down the mind, or at least focusing, single focus, that's hard.
That's it.
Yeah, that's difficult in this day and age of multitasking. But for you, you're saying it's a daily way of life. It's a practice, and it takes practice.
Takes practice. And every time you would, like, quote unquote, fail, the important thing with mindfulness is to not think like, oh, I've failed. It's just to say, to actually use the mindfulness to launch you back into it, to say, right now, I'm not doing a great job at being mindful, and being even mindful of your mindfulnessness.
Mindlessness?
Yes.
So at this event, or at this festival, it's going to be you and how many other people like you?
There's about 50 or 60 other teachers and musicians who will be presenting either a yoga practice or just musical performances. There's speakers.
Sounds really relaxing.
This is it. It's in Vermont. Where in Vermont?
And it's at Stratton Mountain.
Okay.
So right up on the mountain. Not a lot of skiers in the summer, so the facilities are available.
Not so much.
People either stay on site or they camp.
Here's a question. If you're going to practice mindfulness as you do, must you also practice yoga at the same time? Can you separate the two?
Oh, definitely. And for the first 3,000 years of yoga, that's exactly the way it was. It was really a seated practice, one of contemplation, of self-study. And then only when it came really to the West, I would say, did it take on this sort of hyper-focus on just being too flexible, too physical sometimes.
Does it bother you, though, that I'm sorry, in our society today, we really focus on the physical aspects of yoga. Kids are doing it now. You've got people doing it who would never even consider it. Are you happy to see that, or would you like to see some of the other spiritual side of yoga?
No, we sometimes say, my friends and I, that any yoga is good yoga. Like, you two could teach yoga, and we'd be
goodness.
like, but it would be good because, again, it would unite breath and body and attention. And if you have those three, you have yoga happening. So do I mind? Sometimes, just when it seems like there's so much focus, or people are only impressed by the bend and stretch. But otherwise,
because it takes mindfulness to get into some of those poses.
It does. Yeah. It does.
We are quickly running out of time, but again, for myself, who read you were coming, did some research, you said, I want to go. Do you know if people can still attend? Can they still attend the lecture that you're giving?
You still could probably, find some lodging and get up to Stratton, Vermont. But I also teach a lot of weekly classes here, both at Midtown Athletic Club and in a place in the South Wedge called Tru.
Well,
Tru Yoga. I've heard of Tru Yoga before.
We truly thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much, Aimee.